Hey coders! In this episode we are going to talk about how to use colors in CSS. In the last episode we used a lot of colors to learn the basics of CSS. Now let's take a closer look at colors and learn how we can use them in CSS. This website, W3Schools, is the world's largest web development site. Here we can find documentation for anything web development related. This is what I will use to illustrate and explain web development concepts and useful information. So let's talk about CSS colors. Colors in CSS can be specified by the following methods. We have hexadecimal colors, RGB colors, RGBA colors, HSL colors, HSLA colors, and predefined cross-browser colors. This is what we used in our last episode when we specified pink. So let's delete all of this CSS code. I'm gonna save it. And let's delete all the HTML that we did. I am going to introduce a new element called div. The div tag defines a division or a section in our HTML document. It is often used as a container for other HTML elements to style them with CSS. So inside our div, let's add an h1 tag and say my title. After that, let's add a paragraph, p tag, and let's create some lorem 5 text. To this div tag, let's add a class and specify section 1. Let's go back to our page and save this. So there we go, we have our h1 and our paragraph. Let's also delete this main to CSS. So let's take this class name and copy it, section 1. And let's go to our main CSS. Here, I'm going to specify for section 1 background color, BG and C, and that's gonna give me background color. And let's use hexadecimal colors. We can specify a hexadecimal color with a hashtag, and then we have two values for red, green, and blue. All values must be between 0 and FF. So let's delete this and we take this value and copy it to here. Let's go back to our web page and save this. And here we can see that our div background color turned to green. So now let's add a white color to our h1. Let's say h1 color hashtag for the red FF, for the green FF, and for the blue FF. Save this and we will see that our h1 color changed to white. So if the values are the same for red, green, and blue, then we can use the shorthanded version. So we can delete one F from the blue, one F from the red, and one F from the green. And this will give us the same thing. And let's save this. So what if we want to make our H1 black? All we need to do is specify 0 for the red, 0 for the green, and 0 for the blue. That will give us black. Save it. And there we go. Our title changed to black. Now let's talk about RGB colors. RGB color value is specified with the RGB function, which has the following syntax: RGB, red, green, blue, and then each parameter defines the intensity of the color and can be integrated between 0 and 255, or a percentage value from 0% to 100%. For example, let's copy this RGB red color and let's style our paragraph. P color, and I'm gonna copy paste this RGB value and save it. Go back to my web page, and now you can see that our paragraph changed to red. We can also do this if we specify 100%, 0%, 0% for the rest, and save it. So this will give us the same result. So let's add some comments. Now let's talk about RGBA colors. The RGBA color are an extension of RGB with an alpha channel, which specifies the opacity of the object. We have something like this: RGBA, red, green, blue, and alpha. Add another comment here. Alpha can be a value between 0 and 1. 0 being fully transparent and 1 being fully opaque. Take this value, add it to our P and say color, save it. We will see that our text is blue but has an opacity of 0.3. If we change this value to 0.9 and save it, you will see that the color is changing. If we change it to 1, then it is fully opaque. Now let's talk about HSL and HSLA. These colors are similar to RGB, but are using a cylindrical coordinate representation of colors. HSL stands for hue, saturation, and lightness, and alpha is the same as in the RGB. Now that we know this, let's go back to our index.html and let's create after our paragraph an H2. And let's say this is our subtitle. Save this, go back to our main CSS and add H2. Let's add a comment here so that we can remember what HSL is. Let's copy this first value here and let's say H2 color, save it, and let's go back to our page. We cannot see it because it has the same background as our section, so let's change this color to something like, I don't know. Now we can see that our H2 has an opacity of 0.3. If we change this opacity to 9, then it will get a more intense green. And also we have predefined cross-browser colors. Those we already used in our last episode when we specified, for example, color blue or color green. There are 140 color names that all browsers support. I'm gonna link this in the description as well. You can go through and see all the color names that you can use in the browser. So just to create an example, again, let's say H2 background color, blue, save it. The most commonly used methods are the hexadecimal, RGB, RGBA, and the predefined. Personally, I don't use HSLA. So this is basically all you need to know about CSS colors. In the next video, we are going to talk about the fonts in HTML and CSS and how to use them. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.